Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a common denominator. I'm sorry, just kidding. We're actually going to factor. So this x squared minus 4 is going to become x minus 2 times x plus 2. All right, and actually, you know, I need to move the hard eraser up. That's actually better than the soft eraser. Soft eraser sucks. Okay, so I'm going to erase this thing and replace it with my x minus 2 times x plus 2. Now from here, we're going to be required to find a common denominator. Because I have three things happening. 3 is really a fraction, right? 3 is really 3 over what? 3 over 1. So my common denominator between 1, x plus 2, and x minus 2, x plus 2 is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So what's missing from the left is space, and also an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. This is missing an x minus 2, so now we just need to multiply everything in. Everything is going to be over one denominator, x plus 2 times x minus 2. The 3 is going to, you know what, I'm going to switch this out. Is it okay if I switch this into x squared minus 4, which is what it was before? I'm going to switch it over. This is really 3x squared minus 12. Let's see here. This gets multiplied by an x minus 2, so it's going to be plus x squared minus 2x minus 2. All right. Remember, the right term didn't need anything. So let's go and combine some like terms here. That's going to be a 4x squared. Those are gone. Minus 2x. That's gone. Minus 14 all over x plus 2 times x minus 2. Let's see if I can't factor this thing in and see if we can't cancel something. If I factor out a 2 here, I'm going to get 2x squared minus x minus 7. Nope. Goodbye. Not going to factor. Okay? So that's all there is to it. All right. Let's see here. Here we go with 74. 2 to the x squared plus 1 equals 32. Now, the first instinct that some people are going to have is they're going to mix this up with something like number from 116 to 127. Guys, if the bases can be manipulated to be the same, it's easier to do that. Do 2 and 32 have a similar base? They do. What is the common base between 2 and 32? Taylor, what's the common base between 2 and 32? It's 2, right? Because 32 is really 2 to the what power? Teacher Joseph. Fifth. 2 to the x squared plus 1. Now, if the bases are the same, what can I determine about the exponents? They got to be equal. So, bam, those are out. X squared plus 1 equals 5. X squared equals 4. X equals plus or minus 2. This time, negative answers do work because they're in the exponent portion of the answer, or of the problem. I'm going to save this because I'm going to make reference to this later on. Okay. Sometimes when you get problems like number 84, you might want to just throw like an equals x on the outside. So we're going to say 81 to the x equals 3. So x has got to equal something. Well, there's only one type of number that's going to take a number like 81 and make it into a small whole number. What's the only type of number that allows that to happen? So it's a type of number, Taylor. It's got to be a fraction, right? And particularly this one's going to be 1 over a certain number. Now all we need to determine now is what is 3 to the what power equals 81. So that's what you're looking for. 3 to the 4th. That's why the 4 goes underneath. Boom. All right. So that's it from there. A number between 85 and 93. Anything between 85 and 93. '89. Whoops. Log base 5 of x minus 1 squared equals log base 5 of 1. Okay, we have a single logarithm on both sides of the equal sign. They are single logarithms that are the same base. Because they're single logarithms that are the same base, what can I do with those logarithms? Kenna, what can I do with them? They're gone. So I have x minus 1 squared equals 1. Now, there are a couple ways you can do this. You can FOIL this out, subtract 1, set it equal to 0, and get the answer. Or, because 1 is a perfect square, you can just take the square root of both sides. Now, plus or minus 1 is a whole number. It's not like plus or minus rad 3 or anything like that. So, if I add 1 to both sides, I actually have to do the problem. So, 1 plus 1, negative 1 plus 1. This equals 2. This equals 0. Now, do any of these answers not work? No. Ty? 0? 0 minus 1 is what? Negative 1. Well, the inside can't be negative, but what's negative 1 squared? 1. So it does work, right? So this one does work. This is the trap right here. This is the bait they want you to go for. They want you to say, nope, doesn't work, but in fact it does. 2, obviously, that works, right, Teacher Joseph? Say again, Beth. Obviously. Right? Yeah, like ice cream going in the freezer. Okay. I need a number in between 94 and 94 and 103. 101 is what I hear. Ah, good problem. Log base 8 of 48 minus log base 8 of 16 over 5 plus log base 8 of 5 equals log base 8 of 5x. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What do you think the most common mistake I am going to see that's going to make me feel like shoving bamboo up my fingernails? What is it going to be? Michael? They're not going to consolidate. They're going to say, hey, 48 minus 16 over 5 plus 5 equals 5x. That's going to be shoving bamboo shoots up my fingernails. That's going to hurt. Julia? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not realize I did not do that yet. I apologize. Okay. Now that the lights are off for you guys in internet land wondering what just happened. Okay, we have to consolidate these logarithms. Notice how they're all log base 8. So I'm going to create a single log base 8. And I'm going to draw a big bracket here. What is happening in between 48 and 16 over 5? Subtraction of the logarithms, which means what's happening between the answers. Michael? Division. 48 divided by 16. Whoops, that's an awful 6. 16 over 5. Now, between 16 over 5 and 5, what is happening? Chief? No. Between 16 over 5 and 5, what is happening? So, the logarithms are being added, so we multiply them. And that's all equal to log base 8 of 5x. Okay, I'm going to handle the inside here. Order of operations says multiplication and division happen from left to right. So I'm going to handle the division first. So this is 48. Flip the second, so times 5 over 16 times 5. And I get log base 8 equals log base 8 of 5x. Everyone okay with what I'm doing so far? Anyone know what 48 divided by 16 is? 3. 5 times 5 is? 25. For all my people who go to Chuck E. Cheese, 3 times 25 is? 75. Log base 8 of 75 equals log base 8 of 5x. Now that I have a single logarithm on both sides, and they both have the same base, what can I do with those logarithms? Elliot! Cancel them out. Play some idiotic trick on these, right? Elliot? 75 equals 5x. X equals what? 15. Bam. Okay? There you go, people. All right. Between. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with 104 through 115. 116 through 127. Anything. 116 through 127. So, 121. Good problem. Hey, raise your hands. Remember this problem here? Remember 74? How are those two problems different? They look the same, except this one has an exponent on the inside, but who cares? Scholar. I know what you're saying, but I'd like to say, yeah, I know what you're saying, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the right thing, Taylor. Yeah. So everyone, Gabby, this is one of your questions. In 74, the bases can be manipulated. 2 to the x squared plus 1 can equal 2 to the fifth. So we can make the bases the same. 3 and 5, there's nothing that I can do to make the bases the same. So when I can't make the bases the same, how do I bring those exponents down to the bottom? Chief. I'm not going to multiply by the natural log of anything. I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. So I'm going to go through this very, very slowly. This is the natural log of 3 to the 2x is equal to the natural log of 5 to the 4x plus 2. Now, properties of exponents say when I have an exponent in the answer component, what can that exponent do? What can the 2x do? Chris? Drops down. Drops down. I get 2x ln 3 equals 4x plus 2 ln 5. From here, I got to distribute a little bit because I have to move the 4x over to the other side. So it's going to be 4x ln 5 plus 2 ln 5 equals 2x ln 3. Move all the x's over to one side, right? So I'm going to move this 4x ln 5 to both sides. Oops. So I've got, if I scroll over here, if I move it to the right, 2x ln 3 minus 4x ln 5 equals 2 ln 5. How do I get x out from this trapped little area? They both have an x in common, so what can I do? Mr. May. Factor out an x, and I have 2 ln 3 minus 4 ln 5 equals, equals 2 ln 5. How do I get x by itself? Divide by what? The big thing. Now, the only thing that's going to happen, darn it, besides running out of space, the only thing that's going to happen with this problem is you might end up with a bit of a calculating error. Sean, is this the one that I helped you out with? So this should be x equals negative 0.75 something or other. For those of you who are working with calculators, which should be all of you. 128 through 136. 128 through 136. Taylor? 130. Okay, too bad, 130. Should beat you to it. Alyssa deposits $15.50 into a bank account where it blah blah blah. Okay. Okay. Alyssa deposits $15.50 into an account. Where does $15.50 go? If she deposits $15.50 into an account, where does that go? P, right? Initial amount, $15.50. Hey, what's E? E. The interest rate, here's where people are going to make their biggest mistake. The interest rate is 7.25%. The biggest mistake I'm going to see is people are going to put 7.25 under R. What is the interest rate actually? 0.0725. Okay? How much money will Alyssa have after 8 years? Where does 8 go? A, right? No. 8 years. So here, this is just A equals 1550 e to the 0.0725 times 8. Okay, this is where the calculator is going to start getting more useful. This thing times 8, raise e to that power, multiply that by 1550. Hopefully you won't end up with a calculator error. I hope. Okay, we will skip that answer. Okay, don't even bother with 137 through 140. Those problems are so easy, I wouldn't think to put them on the midterm. 141 through 143. Anything? 3. Say again? They're asking us to find the nth term of the sequence. So, Gabby, what that means, they want us to find a sub 8 because n is equal to 8, yeah? that's going to equal a sub 1. And so we need the sequence formula, right? Which is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times, n minus 1 times d, right? Okay, so a sub 8 is going to equal a sub 1, which is negative 3, plus n minus 1. Well, n is 8, so 8 minus 1 times d. D should not be 32. It is. Holy guacamole. Big number. Okay, so this is negative 3 plus 7 times 30. What is 7 times 32? 224? 224 minus 3? 2, 2, 1. Too bad it wasn't 224 plus 3. That would be 227. Good show. I should change that to positive 3. 147 through 149. Oops, I'm sorry. We're doing 149. Sorry, Chris. I was off in space there for a second. 149. Okay. S sub n. Taylor. Lauren, you don't want me to yell at you in front of the World Wide Web, do you? Great. S sub n is going to, actually, it's S sub 14, right? S sub 14. Yeah. S sub 14 equals, it's going to be n over 2, so 14 over 2. Excuse me. Thank you. Again. Bless me. Thank you. Plus a sub n, right? So negative 72. All right, so this is easy. This is 7, and then negative 75. So 7 times 75? Chief? 525. Negative 525. That's how much I used to make per hour working at SeaWorld. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. Okay, everyone look at numbers 150 through 151, 150 through 152, sorry. What, hello? Thank you. How are you today? Good, good to see you. Julia, head back to the Red Dragon, it says. Guys, look at numbers 150 through 152. What did they do to make that arithmetic series harder? Less information. That's what they always do. So does anyone need a problem between 150 and 152? Nothing? Which 151 do we want? The second one? Okay. What can we determine from this information? What do we know about this series? We know a sub 1. What's a sub 1? 8. What else can we tell? D. Chris, what's D? 8. What else can we tell? What's a sub n, Chris? 80. Okay, well to find s sub n, I'm going to need n over 2 times a sub 1, which is 8, plus a sub n, which is 80. What do I need to know? N. And I wish there was a formula that existed that allowed us to find n. Is there a formula that exists? Yeah. We can do a sub n. Oops, what am I doing? A sub n is 80 equals a sub 1, which is 8, plus n minus 1 times d. So that's out of there. It's going to get a 72 equals n minus 1 times 8. Divide by 8. 9 equals n minus 1. N equals 10. So this thing becomes a 10 now. 5. What is 5 times 88? 440? 440. Bam. Done. All right. I'm not going to waste your time with numbers 157 through 160. Guys, 153 through 156, you just have to write out all the terms and then add them up. Unfortunately, I have to just kind of muscle through those because they're short. I'm not going to waste your time with nth term of geometric sequence and series because that is, you know, kind of like arithmetic. Hey, what about 172? No sum? Who can raise your hand and tell us why? Nate? Nope. No sum because the absolute value of r is greater than 1, and therefore the series diverges. Some people in the last quiz wrote r is greater than, absolute value of r is greater than 1, therefore the series converges. That was minus 2. If you say if it doesn't converge, just I want to see the words diverges, and I want to see this, and I want to see this. Okay? For full credit, if it shows up on the midterm. We've done that problem before. Okay. Everyone, go and quiet down, please. What formula do we need to figure out the third term of x plus y to the 8th? Binomial expansion. So that is sigma from k equals 0 to n factorial over n minus k factorial. Whoopsie. And then k factorial. A to the n minus k and b to the k. What is n and what is k? What's n? Chief, what's n? 8. Chief, what's k? Not 0. Dump 2. 1 less than what they're asking for. So this is going to be summation from k equals 0 up through 8 of 8 factorial over n minus k. So that is 8 minus 2 factorial, 2 factorial, in this case x, I apologize, x to the n minus k, so that is 6, y to the 2. So 8, let's figure out our coefficient. 8 factorial is 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all over 6 factorial, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, times 2 times 1. That's gone, 2 and 8 become 4. What's my coefficient going to be? 28. X to the 6th, y squared. Boom. Okay. Some people were asking me yesterday in both this class and in period 4, they were like, why is it that when I do number 186 and I pump it into my calculator, I get an error? It says error overflow. Of course you're going to get an error overflow. You know what 100 factorial is? It's 100 times 99 times 98 times 97 times 96 times 95, 94, all the way to times 1. Guys, what's 98 factorial? 98 times 97 times 96 times 95 times 94, times 1. You guys have to be smarter than your calculator. What's going to happen to the 98s downward? They're all gone. What is this problem really? 990. Right? All right. That was one of each problem. So, see ya. My mistake. 2 zeros.